We learn as we go through verse 7 that Hannah and her family, Elkanah, the other wife, all the kids, everybody goes up every year to Shiloh, and they're offering their sacrifices. And the what's indicated in the text is that this happens yearly. So what I want to just kind of throw out there is that what Hannah is fixing to put into practice, what the acts that she's about to engage in, are not acts that she's doing for the first time, but rather these are things that she has done over time as she has constantly and consistently gone before God the Creator to ask Him to open her womb so that she can have children. But if you'll look in verse 10, so they've been up there for a couple of days now. They've had a feast. They've celebrated before God. They've worshiped God. They've offered their sacrifices. They've gone to the priest. They've followed what the law says they should do. And then you get to verse 10, and it's kind of funny. The pattern that you see with this, they go do what they're supposed to do, and then towards the back end of it, Hannah does what she really needs to do. And oftentimes when we do what we're supposed to do, so for them it was go to Shiloh, go before the priest, offer the sacrifices, have the feast and worship. For us, it's when we can join together in the way that we can join together, we want to join together with the saints. We want to be a part of a body that knows when we are hurting. We want to be a part of a body that knows when we are backing away from the faith, but we also want to be a part of a body that we can serve and minister to others in. And when we go do the things that we should do towards the back end, often is the point where we finally do what we need to do. And what Hannah needs to do is spend some time with her Creator that loves her, because she's got a deep hurt in her heart that has washed over her like syrup on a pancake. And we see in verse 10, it says she was deeply distressed and prayed to the Lord and wept bitterly. This is not, God, please let this transaction go through so I can get another coffee that's overpriced. This is not, God, please let my lawnmower start today because I really just would like to get the mowing done. This is, you know what I mean, right? Like we just have those silly prayers. Or one of my favorite videos this last month was Boomer prays for Gen Z. I sent it to one of the students, and the guy praying for the student is like, and help Chad with an X, and this chemistry test that he has not prepared for, word, and help him to miraculously pass. And this isn't one of those when you're sitting in front of a test. And man, that was cringy. I apologize. This isn't one of those where you're sitting in front of a test and you haven't prepared for it. So you're just offering up a quick little, God, this would be really dope if I could stay in college. This is that prayer that you have almost questioned if you need to keep praying it. And she doesn't just go through the motions with it. She's pouring herself out here. And so verse 10 is helping illustrate that she's being honest before God. She's being open before God. And here's the deal. If you've prayed for God to do something big or small for an extended period of time, and God has yet to say yes, or God has yet to reveal that this is a firm no and you need to move forward, but you're just waiting on God to act, one of the temptations that Satan will throw at you is to just go through the motions with it. And what that's doing is that's almost providing this callous layer over your heart before God. But Hannah didn't have that. And that doesn't make Hannah the hero of this story. But Hannah does model something that we want to make sure that we do. And that is that when we go before God and we open out and we are pouring out the things that matter to us, that we actually pour out. This isn't just the amount of the cup that whenever I set it down splashes over on the side. That probably most accurately describes way too many of my prayers. Just a little bit that splashes over. No, Hannah takes the cup and she dumps the whole cup out. And then she does that thing when you're really, really thirsty and she tips it over again and she makes sure that there's nothing left in the cup to pour out on this.